All right, everyone, we're back with more FF14. We're heading into the post Heaven's Ward chapters now. That's everything we're going to see from here on is we're going to be dealing with what happened with Estinian, and then we're going to be leading into Stormblood. So the story's not going to take too much of a break here. The important thing you need to know too is the story chunks per chapter are much smaller now. They learned from A Realm Reborn, where they used to stick in a whole bunch of like just bloating quests that they made you do. They don't do that as much anymore, so we should blow through the post patches fairly quickly. After long years of estrangement, Ishgard rejoins her sister nations in the Alliance. Words cannot well express my joy. None of this would have been possible without you, my friend. Change is coming to Eorzea, though it will inevitably bring with it a measure of upheaval. With hard work, peace and prosperity are sure to follow. And yet, even as we look forward to the coming of a new age, we must needs be wary of old threats. The Lords of Garlemald have not relinquished their claim upon Eorzea, and we shall be forced to contend with them again ere long. And then there is the matter of our comrade Estinian, claimed body and soul by Nidhogg. If there is a way to rescue him, we must find it. Suffice it to say, the path ahead holds no shortage of challenge. But together we shall overcome them. Yeah, I got 5,000 XP from that. Oh shit, I got an achievement. Alright. What is our title? Did they give us one? We do. We get a title called The End of Ascalon. I don't think they ever really tell you what Ascalon is, other than it's the title of his sword. Or the name of his sword. King Thornton's sword, I mean. But I think he like mentions it once. Fortuitous timing as always, Miro. Tataru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. Would you be so kind, then? Absolutely. You'll be pleased to hear that Riel and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Clemen helped me escape the Crystal Braves in Limsa Lominsa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riel, she crept aboard a ship bound for Razatan, where she had been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Ida and Papalimo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane of all places. Riel thinks they must have been disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Yes, that would make sense. They could not risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Minfilia? I'm afraid I'm nothing new to share about those two, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the services of Charlian Scholar, one of the students of Baldessian, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. But first, we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Aymeric has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Miro, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Knight for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know. Yes, Tataru, you are integral to the running of the Forgotten Knight. Anyway, guys. So, the final boss there that we fought of Heaven's Ward, as I mentioned a few times now, is a huge reference to Final Fantasy VII's Knights of the Round Materia. Now, not only is it a huge reference, it literally is the Knights of the Round Materia in fight form, and that was so cool. I don't know why I wasn't expecting it the first time I played. I should have been, but I was just so enamored by everything that it just didn't dawn on me until I got to the fight. The Lord Commander is within. Pray proceed, miss. But the hard mode of that fight, or the extreme mode, came in one of these patches here that we're about to do. And that fight was so long, it had like 9 phases to it. Such a good fight, though. Happy Chocobo.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities. I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order, but such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Aymeric. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Shrine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Shrine? You would speak with Vidofnir, then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor? Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
Right. There, Lucia. I know little of the lands these dragons call home, this Annex Shrine. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would have seemed a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it, yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? But ere we set forth, Miro and I must inform our comrade of our plans. Very well, I shall see to my preparations. Then let us go bid farewell to Tatara, Miro. Guys, don't forget to vote in the poll. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to Annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose that does take precedence, but should your meeting with Vidocnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Ishtola in Ilshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be... Time permitting, as I said, we shall endeavor to enjoy Ishtola, but if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Miro. We have kept the first commander waiting long enough. Alvino, why did you cut off Tataru? That was super rude, dude. You are ready then? Good. So am I. Alright, let's take this one. An almond cream croissant. The path is long, but known to us. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the Western Highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dravinian Forelands. Alright. There we should stop and rest and replenish our supplies. Questions? If not, then the stables await. I could just teleport to Annex Shrine. Rendezvous with Lucia outside of Tailfeather. Close enough, I guess. The poll is over. Yes and maybe take it. And since maybe is kind of a cop-out answer, although the funniest answer, we're gonna go with yes, so... Dumb Gauge Punk has been banned. At least he would be if he existed. There you go, Chocobo, you got your wish. Also, we're in the Chocobo Forest now. We're in your home. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army, and here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past. Though it was I who first proposed recruiting Isail to our cause, I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, and for a long time after that. Here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands. Men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our side, she fought in service to the greater good, even unto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alphino, yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, yes, of course. We must press on to Annex Shrine, if you will follow me. Guess that kills your rebrand. Exactly. Guys, join Dudes for a boss fight. Dudes, what did you think of the final boss of, Heaven's Ward? Wait, why am I running up? I can just teleport again. Hey there, Godofnir. Just hanging out in this room. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Isael. But this one I do not know. Pray, forgive us this unannounced visitor, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Aymeric, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thoradin and his Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the great worm Ratatoskr, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azure Dragoon, and Giselle. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Giselle once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more, before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, knight. However, I cannot give you mine answer. May I ask why? The matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ha! Fear not, knight. Thou shalt have my answer within thy lifetime. So soon? My humble thanks. I shall bear your word to my lord forthwith. Until we meet again. That was a good jest. Given the circumstances, I'd say that went rather well. To be frank, I'm surprised our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fears for me now. Hey, Faye! Well, if you have no further need of our services, we shall continue on to Charlian. We hope to become a scholar. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in the search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and as uneventful as ours was, and thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphino. I only hope that the fates will not hold you to your word. Alright, Alphino. Another time, another place. So, it would seem that we have time to greet the scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is to rendezvous with Ishtola in Idleshire. Well, good thing we can just teleport to Idleshire. Again, I realize it could be Idleshire as well. I've just gone with Idleshire because that's what makes sense to me, but... You stress? Trying to get ready for a big trip? You need more money? Where you headed? Oh, while we're here, guys, I'm gonna go buy myself a new chess piece. I don't need to, but I want to. So, the level 60 gear is all sold by these vendors here. Bertana here sells the weapons. You want to click on her and go to Shire Exchange. I actually currently have the... Well, actually, I don't have enough. I'm 2 tomestones away. Okay, never mind. Actually, no, yeah. 12 tomestones, I think. Yeah, the chess piece I want is 12. Okay, so I don't quite have enough. This is what I want. Anyway, I'm currently not using them. Why are they not equipped? How long have they not been equipped for? There you go. Problem solved. Anyway, these are the weapons we should have been using and haven't been. Very nice looking little swords. The UK, for a study abroad, you're leading it. Oh man, I really want to go to the UK. It's one of my top 2 destinations I want to visit. So I hope you enjoy it. And it sucks that it's so expensive. I need more money too, but that's unrelated to anything. I mean, same. Hey there, Shola. Ah, Miro, 'tis good to see you, I confess. I had assumed your business in Aymeric Shrine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidofnir go well? As well as can be expected, she must discuss Sir Aymeric's proposal with Hraesvelgr, of course, but she seems amenable to the suggestion. What of the Charlian guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if I might use the intervening time to explore, or she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on the front bridge. We should be on our way. Your top destination is to visit Sasse's Penance Park bench? Look, man, we haven't had the Penance Park bench built yet. We need to raise money for it. Your top destination is Sass's Asshole. Well, at least I have some popularity here, I guess.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryle, who has recently come from the Charlian motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss. And who is that I spy but young Alphonse Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown in Ilmore too in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Kryle and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Kryl.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best that you explain your plan to her in person.
Yay, we get to go meet up with Master Matoya again. By the way, so if you guys recall, we showed off this bubble of energy before and there was nothing in there. Now, though, you can clearly see Alexander just hanging out of the water there. We will be doing this at some point, but it's a storyline we're gonna keep for later. It is one of the many cool side adventures we're going to do. And perhaps by then, I will have Anyway, perhaps by then I will actually have the ability to pull on people from the Discord/guild to join me for it, so that queue times are not very slow. My mini cat. Okay, let's go in here. Hey dudes, let me know if you recognize this music in here. Okay, I'm gonna take a break, but I actually am not supposed to come in here yet. So we'll stay in here with the music and then I'll be right back.